Well, sit has implied stay. So sit means put your butt down, don't move. And the command we're going to cover today, it will help. So we have 6 commands: sit, stay, down, come, place, heel. Okay. Sit, down, and place are what we call stationary commands. The dog does them and then maintains that position until we release them. Sit, put your butt down, don't move. Lay down, don't move. Go to your bed, go there, don't move until I give you permission. Okay. We only say stay when the dog is already in position. Okay, so let's say we taught Charlie how to go to his bed. And he goes there and he won't move. Okay? Because you told him to go there, don't move, by the phrase go to your bed. But let's say Charlie's on the bed of his own choice. Right? He decided to go there, then he can decide to get off. Then I decide, you know what, Charlie, I actually need you not to move from here. I need you to stay on your bed. Well, you can't say place technically because it means go there and don't move, right? So then I'll just go stay. So now it becomes don't move. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. So imagine it as being like with kids growing up, I have my own room. I go in and out. But sometimes my own mom will say like, Jess, you're in trouble, blah, blah, go to your room. And that meant go to your room so I give you permission, right? Or I would be in my room and I could come out if I wanted to. But then my mom would come in and she's like, hey, I need you to stay in your room. Now I couldn't come out anymore because I was just told not to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with dogs. Sit, down, and place are stationary commands. Sit and down are more strict because it's sit or down, right? Very type specific. Go to your bed is a bit more lenient because it's go here, don't move. I don't care if you sit, stand, or lay down. Just don't step off. So, growing up, go to your room, Jesse. I don't care what you do, but don't come out. You can watch TV, you can watch a movie, you can play video games, you can read a book, do your homework, I don't care, talk to your friends on the phone, but you can't come out, right? As opposed to go to the corner, raise, right? Can't do anything in the corner. So same thing for the dog. Sit down, more strict, hold that position until you give you permission. Go to your bed, more lenient. I don't care what you do, just don't get off. Okay? Other questions?
Well, I will tell you, I'm not sure if we did. Enrique reached out to us. He wanted to come this Sunday. It's Mother's Day week.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I said, and we weren't sure the pool was going to be open. The guy came yesterday. So I just, I
he's doing
emailed
two things for you guys. He's doing the front door and the pool.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just, but
Is he
it
gonna
wasn't
do it
on
in the same session?
No,
he didn't.
Too.
But I just said to him, it was Mother's Day anyway, but I said, I'm pretty sure next Sunday, but I'll confirm, just so you know, I'm not sure which one you want to start with, but sure enough, the guy came and opened the pool. I'm not sure anyone wants to get in it until, it starts warming up, but I just sent him a thing back. He said Sundays work, so I'm assuming, and he'll get back to me, but it would be next Sunday we start.
You'll figure that out, dude. He doesn't care. But yeah, the first one, most likely the front door thing.
Okay.
And the pool thing, if it's too cold for the pool,
Right.
So you would have your session with him, okay? And then, because he can do that's more behavioral stuff, right? Like handling Charlie when you come over. What we're gonna do today can also be paired with what you're gonna do with Enrique, but he'll kind of help clear that up once you get to that point.
Okay.
Then you come back, we finish other control things, if everything's going well behavior-wise. And then when it's warm enough for the pool, then you go and you schedule with Enrique.
I did have a question. I wanted to bring up something yesterday. Of course, we didn't use the collar because we haven't had that, but my grandsons came over.
Okay.
So, Charlie, I muzzled him, and I didn't have it on tight enough at first, but I really paid attention to his behavior, and he can't stand me paying attention to them. He started acting out. He got out of the muzzle. He grabbed an extension cord that had on the ground, like doing stuff that he did when he was 6 months old.
Sure.
Started chewing on it, started barking at the Roomba, which was not running. He's never done that. Started like kicking up, just being cantankerous. So Frank, we put him outside. Frank put the muzzle on tighter, and it was like something switched. He stopped. He followed me if I would find the boys, but he wasn't jumping anymore. I mean, he was jumping on them. I had to have them up like by the bar stools, but it was like, the tightness of that muzzle, it was almost, I said, I don't even see, I mean, obviously we didn't have that collar on him, but he doesn't even react that way when we put the collar on him, like associating like, okay, I've got to behave now. It was like, it was like magic. I'm telling you, it was like a different dog. My daughter came to pick the boys up and she came to the front door. He went, sniffed her, gave her her paw. She's like, what did you give him? Mom, I've never seen him like this. I said, he wasn't like this earlier.
Well, you guys could have saved yourself a lot of money and just put a muzzle on him tight.
But I don't, I'm telling you, we don't want to do that, but I'm just wondering, what the heck is it? Like, if it is, like you said, the anxiety is associated with, like, we were controlling something, him, and then he felt calmer or something. I don't know.
So what can happen is, because the muzzle is a stressor, okay, that's why he took it off. Okay, so that's why we do muzzle conditioning, using food and everything to ideally get the dog relaxed with the muzzle. So by the time when we do need to use it, because you want to think, again, muzzle is a stressor, right? And if we're doing e-collar, e-collar is a stressor. So now we already have two stressors. And let's say the dog is not dog friendly. Well, now we got another stressor, right? So that it becomes overwhelming. So it was tell people, muzzle condition, because it makes that easier. And this is why we don't jump into behavior right away with this, because by the time we get to that, the dog's already more comfortable with that it's not that big of an impact. So then really the only thing we're left with is the stressor of the dog. So we remove two of those ideally prior to that, right? And sometimes it happens where it doesn't work that way. So you put it on, it was too loose, he was stressed, he was able to remove it. Sounds like he was just overstimulated with everything you told me, which is fine. You go and you actually put it on more snug, and either the tightness of it, unless he tried to remove it again and then realized he couldn't. So then what happens is, for dogs that aren't like dog social, or like I say, that are, have socialization issues, since you remove their primary source of defense, which is their mouth, you'll see things like that where the dog will shut down, okay? So it's not uncommon we see it here, which is why we always do encourage people muzzle condition, because then it impacts everything. So if the dog's already either shut down or is stressed about the muzzle, and then we try to bring in these other stressors, now it's just overwhelming, and we have to just force the dog through it. And I mean, we do it because we do this all day and it's nothing out of the ordinary for us, but then for the owner, they're like, oh my God, what's happening? And we're like, well, had you done your homework, like we wouldn't be here. Not saying that you guys didn't do that, but that's how it works.
Sure.
So yeah, so nothing out of the ordinary there. In regards to his behavior, he was, like you said, kind of acting out. All that energy from the kids, I'm assuming he just gets really excited when he sees them. Yeah, were they coming in with a lot of energy?
No, we had a whole talk before. They do.
They have a little natural energy that they exhibit that he's not used to. Do they know now that they're not supposed to be jumping around and stuff? Sometimes it gets away from them and they do jump or run and we have to remind them. But they've been a lot better in the last couple times they've been over to understand that they're not supposed to be jumping crazy on the sofas and running through the house around Charlie.
Right, but he's learning, so.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And that stuff can be corrected through the collar. So when Enrique comes over and does that at home, it'll help clear things up more. If you're still unsure of how to apply it in that kind of setting, you can also schedule with him to maybe like, hey Enrique, we got the door exercise down, but now we just want to make sure we do it appropriately or correctly when the kids come over. Okay, he can help you with that as well. So just you would replace your week session with me with Enrique. Okay. Because there's three things, or the two most important things for you guys are the leash walking, which we've covered in the two classes, and then today's stationary control, okay? And then Enrique's doing the behavioral stuff. And if you're feeling really good about what you're accomplishing there, and you're like, behaviorally, we feel comfortable and confident with Charlie and control and what we can do with him, then we go and we come back to do more control in terms of obedience type stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because I was
two things-
feeling totally out of control yesterday. I told Frank, put him outside even for a car ride. I don't feel safe with him. It was it was an emergency that the boys had to come because I don't want anyone there anymore until we get this. I want to do it right.
No, for sure.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of what you were describing, like I didn't pick up any kind of aggression or aggressive type energy there.
The jumping because he's so big.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he can knock someone down, right? So yeah, all that stuff, but just for your peace of mind in that context, you know, even though he was being unruly, I didn't pick up any kind of, you know, from what you told me. So anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, so today's session is going to be a bit easier, which works well with his back hind leg. And then we'll just keep an eye on him. What really kind of dictates things is really just his progress in terms of his behavior and everything. Okay. So who's going to work with him first?
Do you want to start? We did it last year, so.
Alrighty, so what we're going to do here is we're going to teach Mr. Charlie here.
That's it.
We're going to teach Mr. Charlie here with what we call the send. Okay, the send is getting Charlie to go from point A to point B. B being the bed here. So what we're going to start with first is we're not going to say anything. Okay, we're going to start tapping. And what's your number currently at?
I just put it up to 40.
Go ahead and give a test tap here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll start at 40. Because he didn't really like it. Did you say yeah? So what we're going to do is we're going to start about a square away, okay, from the bed here. And what I usually suggest is that you step on the bed to anchor it, because sometimes the dogs will pull back because they're unfamiliar with what this looks like. So you're going to do this, you're going to end up shortening your leash. You're going to start tapping, okay? So I'm going to say tap, and for each time I say tap, one tap, so tap, tap, tap. And if you don't see a response from Charlie by that third tap, I'm going to have you keep tapping and then start to pull Charlie towards the dog bed. Now, once all of Charlie is on the bed, you're going to stop tapping and loosen your leash. If he tries to hop off, you're going to use tension to guide him back and start tapping until he hops back on again. Okay?
Okay.
Questions? Okay. I'm going to go get a drink of water real quick. Hey, last water, please. Alright. So go ahead and step closer to the bed. That's good about there. And tap. 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 Now keep tapping and pull forward. Tap. 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 Right there. Wait a moment. Go and give Charlie a little bit of praise. Good boy.
Good boy, Charlie.
And you're going to say break and then walk backwards.
And let's go to the leash.
Keep the leash in your hand.
Do it again.
Yep, we're going to repeat that 4 more times. Tap. Tap. Now pull. Tap. Tap. Good. Wait a moment.
Good boy. Break.
And backwards. Good. Try that a few more times.
Okay, and he's supposed to get up, right?
Correct. When you say break and move backwards, he's supposed to remove himself from the bed.
Good boy, Charlie.
Good. Relax.
Break.
One more. There. There. Thank you.
Good boy, Charlie. Break.
Excellent. Now what we're going to do is say time step. We're going to move around the bed now. Okay. So you're going to start from here. You're going to be tapping. You send them. Wait a moment. Break. Walk around a little bit. Don't worry about heel. And then maybe you send them from the opposite side. So you're sending still one square away from the bed. But you're changing direction of what you're sending from. Okay. Go ahead.
Good boy, Charlie. Break. Good boy, Charlie. Break.
There you go. Better. Yep. Wait.
Good boy, Charlie. Break.
Good. Just 3 more. Good. Wait.
Good boy, Charlie. Break.
Yep. 2 more.
Good boy, Charlie. Break.
And last one.
He's sitting now by himself.
This is like those, for the aerobics classes that do the step-ups.
These are cool bags.
Thank you. They're pricey,
Shirley.
but they last forever.
Great.
Since we have dogs in and out of here, training
Yeah.
and more and stuff, these are pretty weatherproof. They don't rust.
What's the material on the, is that just like?
This is some kind of vinyl. Yeah. But but we can have these outside or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I probably paid probably like a $500, $600 bed, but they last forever. So because we have dogs in and out, if we need something that's gonna last. The brand's Coranda, in case you're interested. So good. So the reason why we're changing up where we're sending Charlie here from is dogs are very much creatures of habit. So if you always, for instance, send Charlie this way, and then one day you send him like over here, he would probably come around and come this way. So I don't want him to get fixed on a set way of coming to the bed. It's him just learning like, okay, when you hear this from any direction, you can just go there. Okay. So now what we're teaching Charlie is that there's another answer to shutting off the remote. Okay. So the first week was if you were at my side, right? It was telling him, hey, buddy, you're going the wrong way. And when he would turn around and you come next, he learned, okay, when I feel this, I should come to the side, right? Then last week we layered in the auto sits. So then it became, when we come to a stop, put your butt down, and then this thing will go away. So then he was like, when I feel this, an option is to do this, right? In this case, he's feeling the tapping, he's going, okay, how do I turn this off? And when he goes from here to here, everything goes away.
And he did that the last time we went up there. I didn't tap it.
You just went up there?
Jump up.
Yeah, so now I'm starting to get that association. So this is why we start with the taps first, because I want to make sure that the remoting is what's making Charlie go. Because if you would have said like, Charlie, go to your bed or place whatever, and he went there, well then how do we teach him with the e-collar? Right, so that's why we always remove the word. Teach with the e-collar first, and then we come back and we layer in the word. Okay. Questions about any of this stuff so far? We're going to do the same concept, but we're going to send Charlie from a little bit of a greater distance away, so we're going to bump it about 2 squares back.
Yep.
And then what's going to happen is you're going to come to a stop first. Make sure you completely stop. You're going to wait a moment, okay? Because Charlie might preemptively go there because he's learning the exercise. So if that happens, you're going to restrain Charlie. Don't allow him to do so. Relax once you feel like he's relaxed, and then start tapping, okay? If he doesn't do anything for that second or third tap, keep tapping, and then use your leash, and you're gonna try your best not to step forward, okay? You just wanna stand here and tap, and pull Charlie towards the bed. If he goes, you stop everything. Otherwise, if he's too confused, you can keep tapping, and then just do a small step to get him to come to your side to go there. Does that make sense? Okay. So go ahead and come towards the placemat.
Yep.
Out there. Tap, tap. There you go. Good boy. Good. Break, break. Good. Break, break. A bit of a pull, and then backwards. There you go. 4 more.
Go around any step.
Good.
Good boy.
Tap. Tap. Now here, keep tapping and lead them back. Tap. Tap. Good. Wait a moment. Good.
Good boy.
Break. Break. Good. 3 more. Good.
Good boy.
And relax. Good.
Break. Break.
Yep. And backwards. Good. 2 more.
Good boy. Break.
Good. Now what we're gonna do here, tap, 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 lead them back, tap. Good, tap, wait a moment. What we're gonna do here is go ahead and let's slide that chair forward there. Like that. And then now what you're gonna do is you're gonna have a seat and then relax your leash, okay? That's fine. So if Charlie steps off, you'll start tapping and then you'll use the leash to guide him back, okay? So here, tap, tap, tap. There you go, good. Good boy. We're getting Charlie more comfortable with feeling the collar and interpreting that it needs to go here, right? So that's the send component, and then you have the stay component, right? Which is, okay, now that you're there, don't leave the space for the next 5 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever length of time you hold it for, okay? So when you were sending him initially, all we cared about was getting Charlie to go there. But now that he's getting more easy to work with, we start to make things more strict. So that's why in the last 2 or 3 times he's tried to jump off, we started remoting him and leading him back. Now, we're not using the word right now. We will by the end of the class. But once we use the word, like I use the word place. Place needs to go there. Is if Charlie got off, we wouldn't repeat it. We wouldn't say place again. You would just simply start tapping and lead Charlie back. Okay? So place means go there and don't move. If Charlie gets off and I say place again, I've just told Charlie to go back. I didn't teach him not to get off in the first place. Okay? And it's a super common thing that everybody does. Everybody always repeats things, right? And they complain like, yes, my dog won't stay in bed for longer than 5 minutes. I have to tell them 20 times. And so, well, that's why they don't stay in bed. Because to them, stay in bed means go there and stay there for 5 minutes, and then I'll have to send you back, right? So here, to teach the implied state, he technically has to try it, have a negative experience, and or be corrected. And then when he goes back, he goes, oh, he's like, I felt this. When I went there, it went away. I got off by myself, it came back again. And when I went back, I went, wait, tap, 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 and then relax, it went away. So he has to attempt these things in order not to do it. So for me, if my mom said, Jesse, go to your room, and you can't come up till 6 o'clock, and it was 4 o'clock, I knew that. I didn't have to try to sneak out and then, be corrected for it to learn, like, okay, getting out of my room before getting permission is a bad thing, right? He doesn't do that. He doesn't think like, oh, okay, you're sending me here and you want me to stay here until, you're ready for me to be around. He just thinks, okay, I'm here. What happens if I get off? Right? So that's why we correct. So then, that's what creates the implied stay. So when we say place, we don't say stay, because it comes with it, okay? Kind of like go to your room. Go to your room until I give you permission. Same concept here. So you're sending him to his bed. He's gonna try to break away. That's normal. You don't say anything, you simply correct him. He goes back, we go back to what we're doing, okay? So in the beginning, what I suggest people do is do this when they're doing nothing, essentially. Like watching TV, bring the dog bed, pop it right next to you, send Charlie to place with the leash, keep the leash in your hand or step on it, you can limit what he does or what he can do, and you watch TV. Hour and a half, 2 hour movie, a show marathon, when you eat dinner, when you eat lunch, you're going to sit there at the table, if you're working from home or something like that, and just be stationary, reading a book, anytime you're just going to sit there. Read the bed, grab Charlie, send him. And then if you're reading for 30 minutes, you just did 30 minutes of stationary work. Does that make sense?
And it could be in a different place?
It could be anywhere.
So you can move the bed somewhere else and do that?
Yes,
Okay.
so place is very versatile.
Okay.
You can either have one in each individual room. You can have one object that you move from room to room. Tap, 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 tap. You can have one bed that you move from room to room. You can have more than one bed within a room, but they would have to have different names or something to differentiate them. So like if there was like, go to the bed and then like go to a chair. Because it's in the same room. If you said place and there's 2 places, he's like, which one do I go to, right? Now if you have one in each room, If you say place in the kitchen, and there's a place in the kitchen, he would go to that one. He wouldn't go to the one in the living room, because he's thinking according to the conscious response. Then you're going to do the tapping of the leaf pull, but we're not going to repeat the phrase, okay? So go ahead and say the word place.
Place,
Tap, tap, tap. Now small step forward and pull, tap, right there. Good,
good boy.
Break, good, one more.
Place,
Better.
good boy. Break. Place. Good boy. Break. Place.
There you go. Tap. Good. So you went most of the way, right? And that one tap at the end.
Good
Go
boy.
in there. Okay. We have the mop in here.
Break.
One more.
Place.
Yeah. There you go. And wait right there. Excellent. So now we have the word. I just let this relax. So yeah, there you go, like that. We have the word, okay? So your homework for this week is going to be two things. This exercise, place, break, 3 to 5 minutes apiece, that's it. Okay? Keeping it short, because when we do redundant things, repetitive things, they're all suddenly get frustrated. Okay, so keep it shorter. So that's why earlier we did that first bit, and then once we got that down, we stopped, let them rest for a bit, talk about some stationary stuff, and now we're reviewing this so that you can have something to practice and start using the word. Now this is not going to immediately transfer to your dog if you use it at home. So let's say you use a dog bed. If the dog went down, if you say place, don't expect them to just go there. You would go back to what we did here, place, tap, 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 pull, he goes there, and you start tying together, hey buddy, this is now also a place. And anytime you get a new place or get to replace the bed that you were using, or you want to add another one, a second one or a third one, you have to teach it. Okay? So like if you teach him, he's great at it with the bed that you use, and then one day you get a new bed and you go the other way, and you said place, don't expect him to just go there. It's a new object. It's going to be different. You're going to have to go back to the basics. But once he learns it, he's going to go, oh, okay, this is like the other bed. If you use a towel, same concept, you have to teach it first. Then once you recognize it, now towel can be placed. Okay? So you always have to layer this in first before you can actually use it and cue it for the dog to know to go there.
So five minutes.
Of this stuff. Back and forth.
With Suzanne and I switching off.
Correct.
5 minutes each.
Correct.
And should we also continue the walking and stopping and sitting and turning as well?
Yeah, so that stuff you can do whenever you do your walks.
Okay.
That's just when you do your walks.
Sure.
Okay, and remember, you're only doing the turning stuff. The turning stuff is for you. Once you feel like you got it down, you just go on your normal walk.
It is definitely for us.
Yes.
If you're teaching,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Okay.
So now this stuff, easy, 3 to 5 minutes of the redundant, repetitive place break. It's usually like 3 days, and once you feel like, yeah, he's a champ, I can call him place and he just goes there, you just use it. Okay, so now it's about application.
We shouldn't need the lead anymore, right?
That's going to be a bit. Okay, that's going to be a couple of weeks that you'll need the leash, because once you remove the leash, he's going to learn there's other options. And then you might see him try to go the other way. Okay, so expect like the next 3 to 4 weeks you're going to be using the leash, and you'll have it on him.
Okay.
And there's going to be stages. I'll give you the stages next time I see you, but for now, keep it close.
Okay.
The stationary stuff, you can do it the same, like you can literally go home and do 2 hours. Just expect them to do what you did today, but now you know how to correctly address it, okay? My suggestion to you is that you do that with this guy, because he does have a hard time, okay? Because it was hard enough for him here.
Yeah.
So imagine at home with the kids are over, families over, guests are over, right? It's gonna be much more challenging. So you definitely want to practice this now, you know, whenever you have the time. There's no such thing as too much, because it's just go here, go move, okay? So I told you, 6 to 8 hours here, you know, broken up throughout the day. So it was like, hey, I had lunch and I had him on place for 30 minutes, and like, hey, we're gonna watch movies, 2 hours, let's grab and play some, right? You can do it multiple times during the day because it's not repetitive. The only time you're having to use the collar, of course, is when he gets off. So Just be mindful that if you are using the collar more frequently now, of rotating it, right, being aware of it, using different spots each time you put it on, just make sure you put up those pressure sores. If he goes on a walk and you come back, my suggestion would be to not place him. Not because he can't do it, but because of the bulldog scale, right? And it might be a bit too much. Plus, because when they salivate, it comes down and that moisture can develop hot spots. So, but yeah, you could do like, whatever length of time you want to do multiple times throughout the day. It's only the repetitive place and break stuff that has to be done once or twice a day, 3 to 5 minutes max. Only until you feel like he's good at it, and then it's just application. Place. Now they'll move to the next one out. Okay? Other questions? Nope.
I just have a quick question about all the dogs that were laying on the beds that didn't move. Is it because you train them and so do they have the collars on when they're here? They didn't move, so I was wondering now, this is.
Because, so, can you get him to a point where you won't need the collar replaced? Technically, yes. For like stuff that he does when there's no external stimuli. You're watching a movie, it's just a movie watching a movie. When you're eating dinner, because it's patterned, right? So I got a client who always, whenever they eat dinner, they always pace their dog. They don't do it to the e-collar anymore because the dog has caught that pattern. But it's also the same people. But it's like, hey Jesse, he's great when you call for dinner. He's been great for the last 6 months, and then you have friends for dinner, and you try to place them, you're gonna use that e-collar. Because it's different, okay? So when there's gonna be outside stimuli, that's when you kick in with this, but if it's just like the average day, and it's just you guys, after a period of time, yes, you can use place without the need to collar, because it's been reversed so many times, okay? So definitely start using this. It's easy to do, and I think that's part of the reason why people kind of ignore it, because it's so easy. I can do this whenever I want. And then, 2 months later, I needed my dog to not move because my guests were coming over. Not gonna work.
Right.
Okay. So we're starting now and nothing much is going on. Enrique will do his in-home with you so that he can show you how to sell him with the door. So then expect, depending on the weather, we'll see you next time. If you feel good about it, I would suggest maybe practicing with people that you know he's good with. Because it doesn't matter who it is coming through the door, it's just a matter of keeping him home.
Sure.
And then if it's like, hey, he's doing great, but we'd like to try him with like the kids, and we're worried about the kids, then you have Enrique come back and do another one. And then after that, if it's warm weather, then you can come back and do the pool thing. And then if all that's going good, you're like, hey Jesse, man, Charlie's made some strides, then you come back to me, and then we do more control type stuff. Okay?
So for next week, Enrique comes next Sunday. We don't see you next Friday, right? And then we might see you the following week.
Yeah, depending on how you go about. But my advice to you here would be these 2 commands, feel in place tip, are the commands that are to give you control with the reactivity and an additional tool when people come over, right? Enrique's going to come in and help you really kind of get a hold of that behavior. So that's where you definitely want to make sure you do this stuff, because if you come here, there's more things I can teach, yes, but is it going to be beneficial to your situation?
Exactly.
Is the other thing. So that's why I'm like, I want to get that behavior stuff done, so you come back and Jessica, we're good. We'd like to learn more obedience stuff, and I go, okay, cool, okay? Because there's always the variable of like, let's say the door exercise is not going smoothly, and you need Enrique to do multiple visits before you get it, right? So, but this is the core of what you need obedience-wise.
Okay.
The rest of the stuff is not behavior, which Enrique will try to take care of. Okay?
Good.
Great.